The Battle of Hastings, 1066. Following the death of King Edward the Confessor in January of 1066, a succession struggle began. Harold Godwinson was crowned King of England shortly after Edward's death, but faced invasions by William of Normandy, his own brother Tostig, and the Norwegian king Harald Hardrada. Harold had spent mid-1066 on the south coast with a large army and fleet waiting for William to invade. Learning of the Norwegian invasion, he rushed north, gathering forces as he went, defeating them at the Battle of Stamford Bridge on the 25th of September, with both Hardrada and Tostig being killed. The English victory came at a great cost, as Harold's army was left in a battered and weakened state. While Harold and his forces were recovering, William of Normandy landed his invasion forces in the south of England at Pevensey on the 28th of September of 1066. Harold was forced to march swiftly, gathering his forces once again. Eventually Harold met William just outside of Hastings at a little town called Battle on the 14th of October of 1066. Harold had taken a defensive position at the top of Senlac Hill, about 6 miles from William's hastily built castle at Hastings. There his men formed a seemingly impregnable shield wall. His army was primarily composed of foot soldiers, with his housecarls being the elite units of his army. It was estimated in total Harold had between 7,000 to 12,000 men, although a majority of his army were raw recruits. William's army, on the other hand, was much more complex. The army consisted of cavalry, infantry and archers, with about equal numbers of cavalry and archers, whilst the infantry numbered the same as both the archers and cavalry combined. Overall, it is estimated William had around 5,000 to 13,000 men at his disposal. The battle opened with the Norman archers shooting uphill at the English shield wall, to little effect. The lack of English archers hampered the Norman archers, as there were few English arrows to be gathered up and reused. After the attack from the archers, William sent the spearmen forward to attack the English. They were met with a barrage of spears, axes and stones. The infantry was unable to force openings in the shield wall, and the cavalry advanced in support. The cavalry also failed to make headway, and a general retreat began. A rumour started that the Duke had been killed, which added to the confusion. The English forces began to pursue the fleeing invaders, but William rode through his forces, showing his face and yelling that he was still alive. The Duke then led a counterattack against the pursuing English forces. Some of the English rallied before being overwhelmed. Seeing how easily the raw recruits of the English had abandoned their hilltop, William decided to order another charge, and then a false retreat. This occurred several times and eventually wore down the English housecarl units. With the English lines weakened, the Normans finally managed to break through onto the Anglo-Saxon shield wall. Harold fought bravely until he finally was shot in the eye by an arrow, while simultaneously being hacked to pieces by a Norman knight. With their king dead, the rest of the Anglo-Saxons began to flee. After further marching and some skirmishes, William was crowned as king on Christmas Day of 1066, thus bringing an end to the succession crisis of that year. Well, thank you for watching and listening. All sources are listed and linked into the description below. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe if you've enjoyed. I've been the Ancient History Guy, and as always, I'll be seeing you later.